Following trends will have your skin looking like this. Studying yourself will have your skin looking like this. I had perfect, immaculate skin all throughout university, pre-TikTok, but once I downloaded that wretched app, things took a turn for the worst. I literally destroyed my skin following every single trend on my For You page, including starting tretinoin when there was no need to. My skin freaked out and I did not have the knowledge I have today. I just thought I had become acne prone when in reality, all I did was destroy my skin barrier. And without knowing the problem was a damaged skin barrier, I was slapping on 10,000 different acids trying to heal and clear the acne that was caused by the damage skin barrier, and it just continued to get worse and worse because I had no information on the problem. If that sounds like you're not actually breaking out, your skin is just begging for repair. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly how I accidentally healed my acne and cleared it with moisturizer. And that is now my 3-phase system that I still follow to this day that I am going to gift to you. These are the only products and protocols that I follow and trust because my skin is finally back to normal. Before we get into it, my name is Vikita, and on this channel we talk all things feminine reality creation and becoming the full package, aka just becoming your best self. If you're interested in more than just my YouTube videos, make sure to go to the links in the description box where you can find access to all my digital products as well as my feminine energy manifestation course. I'm also starting a new series on Instagram where I'm sharing everything from A to Z on how to study yourself to become the best version of you. Just you, but better. Through studying your natal birth chart, your specific energy, your specific beauty, and all the daily rituals that come with that. So make sure you're following me on Instagram to follow along for the journey. Phase number 1, aka the most important phase, hydration and repair. The first order of business is to stop all the damage. I had no idea what a damaged skin barrier was because my skin barrier had always been perfect. That's why my skin was perfect, because I was not doing the most, because TikTok didn't exist when I had perfect skin. TikTok only became a big thing in 2020. That is when I graduated university and the skin took a turn. But prior to that, I had only known what I was taught by my mother, which she also didn't know about tretinoin, didn't know about different acids. So all I knew was moisturize and make sure you are just having that supple dewiness on your skin through moisturizer. The only acid I actually had in my routine was this Glossier chemical exfoliant, which was so perfect. It has AHA, BHA, and PHA, but it's still very gentle enough for sensitive skin, which is my skin type. So that's literally all I was doing in university. But then once TikTok came about, you hear about tretinoin, you hear about all the latest skincare trends, you hear about your skin looks good, but it could be better, and I fell victim to that. But I'm trying to tell you that you do not need to do more. You need to, phase 1 is about stopping every single acid, every single chemical exfoliant, everything harsh, and go right back to moisturizer. No more harsh acids, no more scrubs. If you are suffering with acne, you need to ditch every other acid. You just need to focus on the bare bones, which is hydration and repair. So in this phase, you are just going to soothe the skin and get it back to baseline. So right now, your skin is probably right here. That's where mine was. My skin was just on this cycle of breaking out, fixing the breakouts, causing more breakouts because of irritation and redness. It was just so damaged that it could not take anything else. Even products that now are in my routine that don't break me out were breaking me out back then because the skin was just so damaged. It was not able to handle anything other than moisturizer, and it took me 5 years to realize that. That is why I was on the train of constant breakouts and constantly damaged, rough, dehydrated looking skin. So phase 1, focus on ingredients that lock in moisture, repair the skin barrier actively, and soothe the irritation that might be present on your skin. I use hyaluronic acid, I use centella, I use panthenol, I use zinc oxide to lock everything in, and just very thick, rich, peptide heavy creams. Now here's where it can become a little bit tricky, and this is what I've mastered and what I'm going to share with you. When you are breaking out like crazy, when your skin barrier is damaged, it is not going to accept thick, heavy creams. Those creams are actually going to break you out. At least that is the experience that I had. Thick creams that I used to be able to use back in university when my skin was amazing, I was no longer able to use because the ingredients in them were just so heavy that they were clogging my pores and causing more breakouts, more closed comedones, etc. So even in this phase, you are not to use heavy, thick creams because they're almost gonna act like an acid and just cause more issues, more breakouts, more clogged pores, and cause congestion. There's no protective layer on the skin at this point to prevent more damage, to prevent clogged pores, to prevent irritation and buildup. So you have to use fungal acne safe and acne safe products even if you are not acne prone, okay? This was my issue. So everything I show in this video is acne safe and it's fungal acne safe. It's tried, it's true, and it's tested. Only once your skin barrier is healed can you add in thicker creams that are going to provide more hydration and more repair, but only because you've now built back up that protective layer that isn't gonna cause clogged pores or more acne through heavy, thick, dense creams. Phase 1 is all about building back up that glue that literally holds your cells together to retain water and to block out external irritants. So this is the routine you are going to do. And remember that these products are all products that I used. I literally ran it back to my university skincare routine that was gentle, that was not influenced by TikTok and TikTok trends. Iterate this routine to fit you and your needs, but this is exactly what I do to have perfect skin again. I use African black soap or kojic acid soap every single morning and night with a exfoliator brush. The exfoliator brush acts as my physical exfoliant as well as my chemical exfoliant. And we'll get into the chemical exfoliants in phase number 2. Now I don't slap on 5 or 6 different acids. I use my chemical exfoliant brush with African black soap or kojic acid soap, and then one chemical exfoliant that is extremely hydrating and sensitive skin safe, which we will get into in phase 2. Then I'm going in with hyaluronic acid and I'm using it with water because it's a humectant. If you do not use it with water, it is going to draw moisture out and make your skin drier. It needs moisture to actually activate as that hydrating serum that you want it to be. Then I go in with a centella essence. Then I go in with moisturizer, which is my panthenol moisturizer. And then I lock it all together with zinc oxide, which is very good for healing, repair, rashes, acne, all of that. I will not skip that step ever. I'm always going to bed with pseudo cream on my face. Here's the thing. SPF used to be my worst enemy. When my skin was completely irritated and damaged, every single sunscreen broke me out and I was like, I'm literally destined to not be able to use sunscreen. And it was just causing me to be on this rat race of I need sunscreen, and if I don't use sunscreen, I'm causing more irritation, but the sunscreen is also causing irritation. Right now, you might be in a position that I was in where you are breaking out with sunscreen. Just do phase 1 without the sunscreen first. In a couple of weeks, once your skin starts feeling healthy again and it's in that active repair phase, you can add in sunscreens. My 2 favorites that do not break me out ever, they are literally top tier gold. The Skin 1004 hyaluronic acid one and the Skin 1004 regular one. It's a mineral based sunscreen, so it does leave a little bit of a white cast. I want to make it abundantly clear, do not be scared to try any of the products I mentioned in this video. I was once on the other side of the screen looking for videos, trying to figure out what the heck I'm gonna do to clear up the skin and get it right, and every product I used from other people broke me out even more. But when I tell you, I have perfected this routine. I have tried these products for years. I have figured out exactly what works for every single person struggling with what I mentioned in the beginning. These products are safe to use. And when I feel like the product is a little bit iffy to use for certain people, I will say that. But if I don't say that, then you are safe to use these products no matter your skin type. Phase number 1 lasts at least a month, minimum 1 month. Then we go into phase number 2, which is all about exfoliations and acids. Once you have successfully passed phase number 1, which you can tell if you have passed phase number 1 by the way your skin looks with makeup, and second, by how reduced your fine lines and wrinkles appear. I have very prominent smile lines, which get very exaggerated with dry skin, dehydrated skin, and just very damaged skin barrier. When my skin is at its prime, my smile lines are hardly noticeable and my makeup doesn't crease. Once you have successfully passed phase number 1 and you can tell very obviously that you have passed it, you can successfully introduce active ingredients like vitamin C, chemical exfoliants, all of that. But phase 2 happens at a snail's pace. We are not going to be introducing niacinamide, vitamin C, a PHA, BHA, AHA all at the same time. You are going to pick what is your main goal and you're going to introduce that product that aligns with that. So if you suffered from acne and now you're left with PI, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, dark spots, all of that, then your goal might be to focus on a brightening ingredient like niacinamide or vitamin C. If you want sort of the full package that's a a bit of a slower route that works for everything, you might go for a chemical exfoliant, like one that I mentioned earlier, the Glossier one, has all 3 active ingredients, PHA, BHA, and AHA, but they work everything like dark spots, hyperpigmentation, clogged pores, and just overall texture, but at a slower rate because it's working every single thing. So this is up to you to decide what you want to do, but you cannot do all of them at once. This is what I learned. You're building up your new skincare routine slowly and gradually so that your skin is not freaking out by 15 different products being introduced. You start slow and gradual. For me personally, adding in the exfoliating brush was my first step to the exfoliation process in phase 2. I didn't even add an acid or a vitamin C or niacinamide at all until my skin built up to tolerating the exfoliation brush. So if you're doing the exfoliation brush, you might want to just do that for a couple of weeks and then go ahead and add in an acid, which is what I did, and my skin loved that. Instead of doing the brush plus a chemical exfoliant, I think for sensitive skin people, that is not going to be the best route for you. So do what you will with that information. But personally, once that was introduced into my skincare and my skin tolerated the brush, I introduced vitamin C or niacinamide. Those were my choices because my goals were to get more of an even brightened skin tone because I had so many dark spots and hyperpigmentation from the acne because I was a popper. Guilty. When it comes to your chemical exfoliants, you need to know that the bigger the molecule, the stronger the acid. The smaller the molecule, the weaker the acid. Or if I have that wrong, because I'm not a dermatologist, they're flipped. But basically that means glycolic acid is the strongest acid. Mandelic acid is probably the most mild because it has either a smaller or bigger molecule. I don't know which one. So mandelic acid is great for people who are sensitive skin, but if your skin is a little bit on the thicker side and it can handle more, then you're gonna do something like a glycolic acid. Or my personal favorite is to go for something that has a few different acids inside, but still has ceramides and things that are going to hydrate the skin. If your skin type is sensitive like mine, then you're gonna wanna do an acid that contains a hydrating product inside so that you're still hydrating and moisturizing while getting that chemical exfoliant. So this is my routine. I will use a toner like Equal Berry Swimming Pool Toner because instead of a chemical, it uses something called protease, I think is how you pronounce it, which sort of slugs off the dead skin cells over a period of time. It's an enzyme, not an acid, so it's a lot gentler. That's why I use it in the morning because I do like to add in a few exfoliation steps throughout my routine just so I don't get that buildup because I am prone to congestion and clogged pores. Again, you can only do this once you have healed your skin barrier. Otherwise, things are just gonna freak out all over again. So my toner of choice in the morning is the Rice Ceramide Toner and the Equal Berry Swimming Pool Toner. Then for the nighttime, I will go in with the Glossier toner, or I will go in with the 2% Anua Salicylic Acid toner, which is very gentle and it's still very, very hydrating. These are the only toners I use every single day, morning and night. If my skin is feeling like it needs a little extra TLC, a little more love, I will go in with the Medicube toner pads, but I do not use these every single day because they're harsh. This is the thing I want you to remember, which my younger self needed to hear when I was going through this whole epidemic on my skin. It is better to go slow and to actually see results than to try and fix the problem overnight and create more issues that are harder to resolve. That was the biggest thing I had to realize. Going slow and doing these things gradually will improve your skin. It will not happen overnight, but your skin will be drastically different in a month, 2 months, versus seeing all this acne on your face, feeling so insecure and being so revved up like I need to research this and I need to get this product and this is going to be the solution, but it ends up actually creating a bigger mess that is even harder to clean up. That is the biggest advice I will give you. So just really choose products that are slow but are going to give you those really, really good results in like a month or 2 months. So then once you get back to baseline from phase 1, you're adding in a few products that get you here. And then once you start seeing good results here, you add in a few other products like vitamin C with niacinamide. So it's just all a buildup to get you to that really amazing skin. And then you're just consistent with that routine and amazing skin 24/7. And remember, you are using sunscreen every single morning and you are reapplying with the sunscreen spray if you so choose to. That is the key. And I did not want to believe that, but your skin needs to be protected by SPF. Otherwise, you are just not going to see the progress that you want to see with your skin. It needs that protective layer. Then we go into phase number 3. Phase number 1 is a month minimum. Phase number 2 comes after phase number 1, and that is a slow buildup. So we're gonna give that 2 or 3 months. Then we go to phase number 3. So you're doing phase number 3, let's say starting at the 4 or 5 month mark. That is where we introduce actual treatments to help accelerate our skincare goals. Phase number 3 can only be entered when you have a strong foundation in place and you feel genuinely happy with the way your skin is looking. Now you want to just push things along a little further and quicker. This is where we're introducing things like microneedling and chemical peels that are at-home treatments that I personally do at home. Maybe dermatologists do not recommend this, but I've never been one for rules. Or if you don't feel safe enough to do it at home by yourself, go into a clinic and get it done professionally. But these are not no child's play treatments. These are treatments that tackle your stubborn scarring, your stubborn texture, the creators that can develop in your skin from loss of collagen due to cystic acne, which unfortunately does impact the way your skin does look, like the texture of it. My 2 favorites are chemical peels and microneedling. So how I personally do it is I will do a chemical peel once a week. That is like a 70% glycolic acid peel. I do it at home by myself. Do not do this if you do not feel comfortable, if you do not feel safe. Don't go ruining your skin on my accord. So this is the glycolic acid peel that I use once a week, and this is safe to use once a week. Read instructions every time you buy a peel. I will leave all of this linked down below if you want to do them yourself. This is from Perfect Image. It's a 70% glycolic gel peel. I do this once a week and my skin is perfect. Amazing. Then I've also tried out this peel, which is really good. It's a blend of different acids, but it only contains 30% glycolic acid, I think 10% kojic acid, 20% lactic acid. So it's a bit of a milder peel. So if you want to do these peels at home, you don't go for this one first. Go for something gentler like this. You can do this once a week. This is called the Fade Peel. So acne scarring, all of that. Then for more invasive treatments that I do at home, I do microneedling stamping and microneedling with a pen, but I don't have my pen handy with me right now. I do the stamp once a week or once every 2 weeks, depending on the peel and how we're feeling with this. And then the microneedling pen is more invasive, so I do that every month. Once a month, I will use my microneedling pen. And that downtime for me is like 2 or 3 days, and my skin looks a little bit busted for 2 weeks, so I plan that very strategically. But those are the 3 treatments that I have used that have significantly changed my skin once I had an amazing foundation. Because these peels are strong, because they require a lot of TLC after the treatment, like making sure you're using sunscreen, not being in direct sunlight for a couple of weeks. You need to make sure the foundation has been laid brick by brick, otherwise you're going to ruin your skin. Hear me when I say that. If your foundation is not laid, you are going to ruin your skin with things like this. Way more irritation. You do not use microneedling when you have active breakouts because you're creating micro injuries. I don't know if you can see that, but because you're creating micro injuries with these tiny needles, you are going to start spreading that bacteria all over your face if you're using microneedling with active acne. Just do not recommend that. Again, do not do this if you don't feel comfortable doing what you're doing. Like if you don't know what you're doing, don't do it. And then the aftercare of these treatments at home in phase 3 is going right back to phase 1 where you're moisturizing, you're hydrating, and you're repairing. This 3-step system combined will have your skin looking even, bright, dewy, plump, youthful, radiant, glowy. Your texture will be on point. Your acne will be at bay. You might get the occasional breakout, we all do, but it's not like you're riddled with a face of cystic acne like I was in the first picture. Following and living by this 3-step system will transform your skin the way it transformed mine. So phase number 1 is 70% of your routine, phase number 2 is 20%, and phase number 3 is 10%. You don't do it frequently, but it rapidly accelerates your skincare goals. Watch this video next.